Hi. I'd like to volunteer.
Greg said you volunteered to be a tunnel rat. Is that what you want,
I need a
Erickson?
volunteer.
He was doing volunteer work for the Sandinistas.
Most of the volunteers were hookers.
And an all-volunteer crew of airmen.
Oh, and I volunteered you and
They're
Hill.
volunteers.
Who volunteer?
You're looking to volunteer.
You're looking for a volunteer, aren't you? To be first.
They volunteered he was innocent when nobody asked if he was guilty.
You volunteered, didn't you? We're paying you, aren't we?
It would just be nice if you volunteered to rub my back.
Hi. I'd like to volunteer.
Greg, I'll take you right over here.
That's all right. I'd rather volunteer to her if you don't mind.
I saw your 201 file in the rear. Said you volunteered to be a tunnel rat. Is that what you want, Erickson?
I'd like to get out of the firearm. I need a volunteer. Barbara, get out here.
I just ate.
Please excuse Jamie from school this morning. He was doing volunteer work for the Sandinistas. Please excuse Jamie from school this morning. He was
And stable emotionally. But most of the volunteers were hookers or neurotics who would crack up 10 days offer.
The raid with a force of 16 B-25s and an all-volunteer crew of airmen. Most of the planes carried 500-pound...
Teacher.
Yes, of course.
Oh, and I volunteered you and Hilda to perform the dance of the dying swan for the...
She keeps telling the hotel staff how kind they are. She must think they're volunteers. She told 4 people today that they were 1 in a million.
Who volunteer? You said you'd do anything to take.
If you're looking to volunteer, there's a sign-up sheet by the door.
Thanks.
Not gonna get any better.
I'm sorry to hear that, Rex.
You're looking for a volunteer, aren't you? To be first, right?
Rex, I'd need to know so much more.
They asked what were Hunt's duties at the White House. They volunteered he was innocent when nobody asked if he was guilty. Be careful how you...
Hey! I'm getting a little tired of this.
You volunteered, didn't you? We're paying you, aren't we?
Yeah, but I didn't know you were going to be giving me electric shocks.
It would just be nice if you volunteered to rub my back.
Sorry.
Neformulovat to jako rozkaz. Je to samo sebou dobrovolné. A týká se to hlavně...
About each other already.
Major, I am here to ask you for what you're already so graciously volunteering. Even if you do not hear from me for several months.
Lock it. Keep the volunteers out.
All right,
No way I will let you volunteer for this so I can go back to my home country like the man who didn't volunteer. No way.
Hey, man.
Are these all the volunteer speakers you have?
Commandant, Barrack 2 and 3 failed to produce any volunteers.
Herr Commandant, in our barrack number 5.
And I regret to say the President's hasty calling up of 75,000 volunteers to subdue the rebellion in the Cotton States.
Right here. I'll go. I'll volunteer.
One thing left to do. Volunteer.
Interesting that they did this summer. All right, I'll pick a brave volunteer. Barbara Thorson?
I hope that wasn't important.
Okay, volunteer forces. Good. What else?
Oh, when she...
What are you gonna do?
I don't know, volunteer full-time, maybe go back to teaching, have a little cushion.
They're volunteers. They're here out of the kindness of their hearts.
They're volunteers because no one will pay them. They are incompetent.
It's Christmas Eve.
They're like this.
Well, don't look so glum, girls. Enthusiastic volunteers should be more cheerful. Put your collar straight, girl.
Please put your hands down in back. We're trying to see if there are volunteers for the T-shirt committee.
We are volunteering, Milton.
I was as happy as I could be.
I need a volunteer.
I would do anything.
Yes, Cap.
It will be worse than before.
Rallies new volunteers in every Scottish town.
And when he replenishes his number...
That's what we wanted you to think. The fact is, Hauser volunteered to become Doug Quaid. It was the only way to fool the psychics.
The world. At present, he's in this country on a lecture tour and has graciously volunteered his services. Dr. Van Haller. Dr. Van Haller.
Any work. Nobody loves the Lord more than my father. He's always testifying. He volunteers. Did he do something wrong?
Gefangenen gewährt, die sich freiwillig zum inneren wirtschaftlichen Aufbau Deutschlands melden.
Special privileges will be granted to any prisoner volunteering to work for the internal economy of the German Reich.
I volunteered to go along with it.
The king no longer sends soldiers. I can't even find volunteers for the hunt.
I can't do anything for you, Marquis. I don't know how to catch the beast.
Yeah, my kid needed to hold her daddy's hand.
Huh?
Yes, Hilton. If you don't like it, find another lawyer to volunteer his time.
Hey. Hey, how about let's give it up for the volunteers from the drama club? What do you say?
Jerry's already out. The judge was a volunteer at the second mile. Sent him home.
Unsecured bail.
Hey, how did you get here, Sarge?
Oh, Sarge? Sarge volunteered for this shit, right, Sarge?
Marty, out of some mad fucking sense of loyalty, actually volunteered to dispose of the body. No head. But things went a bit...
Make sure you tell them that it's Margot that's missing. She's so beautiful. There's bound to be more volunteers if they know they're going into the forest for Margot.
No.
Ordinary. First they volunteer for all this, and then they fly 24 missions without a scratch.
No, Flo, I can't afford to.
No, they volunteered. A friend owns a large security company.
How you doing, Mr. Wagon? I'm John Teller.
If you remember, he decided to reward various volunteers who worked for some quite precariously financed Shit! I need another volunteer.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're trying to do. But I didn't volunteer for Crash to play games and be nice to these assholes. Do you think you get respect?
You need at least one old queer on this flyer. Maybe you should volunteer for that, David. This is shit. This is shit and masturbation. It's just
a living person without them ever knowing it. I mean, if he'd understood, if he had volunteered, but he doesn't know, and he never did. He didn't.
Cloth from the glove compartment, please. You know, you could even do volunteer work or something. Anything that'll get you out and moving around.
Jeff, hey, it's Ted. Listen, the old Duncan place is on fire, and we need all the volunteers to go over there.
Hal was the one who held us all together. He was always the first to volunteer.
Came to a clearing near a road where over 4,000
was the infected.
We bought ourselves some time.
Volunteer forces are delivering the vaccine to areas that have been cordoned off.
Distribution.
How to cook.
I was thinking of saying something in chapel. Perhaps some of the women folk volunteer.
I can't have people coming here and cooking for
And lesbians, we're trying to fit in here, Sean.
What?
Volunteer, I said. Run the canteen.
They didn't want me on the canteen. They wanted me on the committee.